Welcome back to K24 this morning. This being a Tuesday, we're talking about money and finance, but money comes in very many ways. I remember when I was doing my commerce, trade. So today we're trying to see if you can actually do pro bono work in exchange for goods and services. So here's our question of the day, the one that we expect you to be interacting on. Would you do pro bono work in exchange for goods or services? And I understand there's a WhatsApp message that has come through. Being told one will be given a chance of exposure without something substantive to support you is like hitting your head with a hard brick stone. To me, this is no different from the 18th century slavery. Money, resources are forms of motivations, and that's how realistic world patterns. This is Eric Perez from Kitengela. Thank you very much, Eric, for your feedback. Albert, there's a question I wanted to ask you before we took the break. And you being a filmmaker, would you, if today a filmmaker or whoever offers you the opportunity to have your work, your films, your animations showcased all over the world in exchange for zero money? Na kwambie tutatoka hapa tutenda Munich, tutaingia Prague, tutafika Budapest, tusimame Hollywood, movies zako ziko shown huko California, and then I bring you back home, all expenses paid. Because chances are, I probably own the airline, so I'm not spending any money. Me, I'm giving you the flights for free. I probably own a hotel also in California, unalala huko bure.
That's even worse.
Unalala huko bure. Huko magari zangu zitakuzungusha California yote. Would you actually take that opportunity? But at the end of the day, I take your work and I showcase it to my studios that are not studios but cinemas. That I own.
Absolutely not. It's if as you've explained that, ideally, because I've seen that happen a lot in many projects. You just aggregate all that money and give it to me and take the product. Because that's business. I've put resources, work, years and whatnot, put up to produce that film. You want to go, what is your motivation for taking it around and spending all those resources to take me around, and you don't feel the need to give me that money so that I can go ahead and produce my next film.
Right.
It is
because if I show it, the reason I'm doing this is because if I show it in Budapest and Prague and California, you never know. Denzel might just see your product and say, Denzel that's the guy.
Then I can spend 30,000 shillings on Facebook and Denzel might still see it. So maybe spending 2 million shillings taking me around the world with my product to show that this person has done this work, but the appreciation is that I have traveled. Actually, I have, like a few months ago, there was a big outcry from some filmmakers about the projects that these nice films we've been doing, the Nairobi Lives and whatnot. Actually, the director was crying a lot about how he traveled. He was in, I don't know, somewhere in Europe, and Aqua Melipa Rent, Mtaani, and all those things. So automatically that kind of exposure, in my view, because though I have a different view a bit because there was money involved in that.
Right.
But if that's the situation where you've done this great piece of work, but unatembea kila pali watu tunakuona Facebook mapicha kwa ndege na nini, unarudi na umefungiwa nyumba ya 30k. Hiyo ni madharau umejipa wewe mwenyewe. You've refused to respect your value. And as such, people will treat you like that. A company worth billions will treat you like that because you have yourself refused to value yourself correctly. You think that hours and hours in front of a computer or on a canvas or whatever is enough for some rich person who's made it already to show you to the world that look at my pet. I have just found my pet. Now let me walk around. No. It is, if we are going to be realistic about it, let's think about the motivation behind somebody doing that. Why are you taking someone who you understand is a struggling artist, take them and expose them to the sweetest things in life. When they come back, they can only dream about that. And their product will say, oh, wow, such a wonderful film. Oh, wow, such wonderful paintings. But there's nothing in the pocket. Uko mtaani na watu, you see, this is the reason why we have issues in our Kenyan industry. People watu wanaona watu kwa TV, every day, unaona, huyo msee ule actor. Ukiingia matri mmekana. Sasa unaanza kujiuliza, nyewe, me I like this actor, but you would not pay to watch their film because ako hapo free na mko naye kwa matatu. So value wise hata wewe kwa kichwa like hii I can get anywhere.
Na kwanga na albo tu hapa mtaani.
Hapa tu mtaani so yati anajiita filmmaker. Hata ukienda Geneva uende Hollywood. Huu ni ule msee. You understand? So the value of it.
Yeah.
We have, for the many people that are taking their desperation to an extent where they're letting people use them, it doesn't pay in the end, no matter what they tell you.
Okay, I see Mercy is dying to...
Yes, I'm pressed with the comment.
Yeah.
So I agree with him, but I disagree at the same time because as human beings, and I'm not saying this because I'm trying to be philosophical or something, sometimes how do you define value to you? Is it fine? In terms of finances, I totally agree with you.
Yes.
But sometimes you find not everything revolves around money. Okay? Sometimes that opportunity can give you a chance to learn a lot.
Okay.
So when you just tag the word money as you're moving around, then I disagree with you. Because sometimes you may get so much from that so-called exposure and example which he was giving, and you may gain so much, not in terms of finances, but in terms of knowledge.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm talking like this because I'm a strong believer of education.
Okay.
So sometimes you may not have money as you put, you may be in a matatu or whatever, but you have so much to offer. And you see, the world is not just revolving around how much money you're going to be given as an artist. That exposure alone in terms of travels and whatnot, who knows, money may come from that side.
Because let me actually ask you
Exactly.
the same question but in a different way.
Yeah.
If I took your artwork, and like I said, I have exhibitions in Europe and the US, and I'm thinking, my exhibition is empty, and I'm paying rent, or I own the buildings and it's empty. So why not take Mercy's artwork, your film, your posters, put them there, invite people to come and watch. And since maybe najuana na Denzel, najuana na Jack Bauer, you know, na Donald Sutherland, najuana na hawa say wote, niwaambie tu wase niaje, hebu kama nimcheki artwork.
Exactly.
I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah.
They might come and see your artwork and even other, you know, unfortunately I do not know artists, but assuming I also know them and I bring them and I tell them, guys, look, I have this girl from Kenya. She's drawn all these things. Is that an exposure that you're open up to?
Yes, I am. And there's a particular reason why I was referring to this Esther Malangu, because it has to do with the major company partnering with an artist, more or less investing in the artist. Yeah. You see, Esther did not only do the motifs for the BMW, as much as she was paid for it, she was allowed to travel the world and exhibit her works. And of course, people bought. So when you're given the opportunities upon you to be smart enough, to try and look for ways in which how you can get some money out of it.
Let's read a WhatsApp message here from someone who's saying that, hello, I'm Johan Doberena, watching the show from Syokimau. I personally agree with Nyakundi that we need to be appreciated, and for that reason, therefore, someone already believed in your art that you can represent them, then why for free? Okay. So, Albert, I will ask you the same thing I have asked Mercy. If I take your artwork, those films, and I say I'm going to showcase them in my film, in my theater, but I will invite potential investors, for example. So for me, from you, I'm getting, first of all, my premises is getting used. But for you, I'm telling you, nitaitasi wabiga kina Denzel atakuja kuwatch movies zako.
You see, that is kind of a situation you're telling me. You're giving me a chance to market and promote my product in front of potential buyers.
Okay.
That's a different situation.
Okay.
And if I already have the film, for example, I've already invested, that's one of the ways I would want to get out there and get paid back. That's totally different from the situation we find ourselves these days of exposure.
Yeah.
It is because there isn't a calculated value for what you're offering first.
Okay.
And that's where I have the biggest problem. Yes, the problem with some of us artists, which is a slight knock on my friend here, but not totally, is that we tend to be a bit idealistic with our art. Because we have, it seems to be a thing we carry along, oh, my art is so pure and so sacred and whatnot. We have that. But until I got that naivety out of my brain, and I realized if somebody doesn't put a monetary value to it, they are not valuing it as you think they are. Okay? Monetary value, ndio kwa sababu hata kitambo mtu anasema enda lipia bibi. It wasn't buying a wife, it is an appreciation or sort. Okay, people have issues about it, but it is like I have put 50 cows on so that this woman leaves her home and comes to mine.
Right.
The appreciation of giving something material or monetary is, as far as I'm concerned, is the full appreciation. Empty words are easy. To tell me, oh, your art is wonderful, it will take you 1 second. Okay? And
Yeah.
you'll feel good about it, and maybe I'll feel good about it briefly until I realize I can't eat.
Yeah.
So as far as I am concerned, there has to be more concentration onto remunerating work. Let's leave our novelty about this is our art or what. What are you remunerating for this work done? Because art is work. An actor is paid millions of dollars to play a character.
Yes.
It is the reason they are paid, that is not because they are so handsome, although it might be part of the reason, but it's because they are they are doing something that somebody is going to pay to see.
Right.
So the chain is complete. What we have had in our country is there's a lot of these novelty projects and campaigns that are meant to really show very flowery, nice, how we are doing so well.
All right.
But in the end, the people that actually do the work to make it look what it ends up looking, always go back suffering, always complaining. Ujasikia hiyo kila pahali.
Nimesikia.
That's why the word exposure sounds like mtu amekuambia big word, tuwezi sema hapa. It's because nika umenitukana.
Ndio.
Like, I leave my home, everything, I carry my resources, I carry my paintings, I carry my pen, and I come do work for you, and you say no. People will see and probably buy. Maybe buy.
Okay.
That is not good enough. Remunerate. Tell me, we have 1,000 customers coming in daily. We've
Yes.
had about 100 inquiries about paintings.
Right.
We would like to put your paintings here. On the moment they enter, they see it. Some are saying they want this abstract, they want this, they want this.
Okay.
Those are specifics. So that you know, okay, I need to do I need your great art to promote my products. But in exchange, I'm giving you a shop.
Okay.
So say I'm putting for you a shop in all art cafes
Yes.
to sell your paintings.
Yes.
Then let's talk.
Okay.
Otherwise, put money on it. Let's move on with our lives. Wacha kunitoshanisha ndio ukule.
Tuone WhatsApp inasema nini. There's an Omondi who says, Dixon Omondi, tell budding artists about exposure and they'll flock in numbers. It's the simplest way of getting free work. 10 years later, the exposed artist has nothing to show of what being exposed brought, if not pain and misery. Brands start seeing you as expensive and go looking for other budding artists, and the cycle continues. Kazi ni kazi, whether done by a small or big artist.
Yeah.
The end product is what matters. So pay, nijitafutie exposure. Ngoja kidogo, there's a caller on the line from Thika. Good morning. Hello. Hello, Kenna. Kenna, hello.
Good morning to you too.
How are you doing, sir? All right. What is your question or comment?
For Joe,
Hello, fanya hivi, reduce volume ya TV yako na amekata simu. All right. Ukipiga simu, reduce the volume on the microphone, on your TV rather. I wanted to ask you in regards to what Omondi has said. First of all, let me start by asking you, how do you quantify your work in terms of value? How do you decide that this artwork is going to cost 50,000 and a certain artwork will probably cost 100,000?
Okay. First of all, that's a very ambiguous question when it comes to asking an artist that. Because reason number one, art is very subjective.
Okay.
It's based on what people feel about it. It's just like music, by the way, if you know that. Sometimes the music that you call good music is not good to me. So there's usually some level of ambiguity in terms of pricing the work. So many things need to put into place, yeah? Starting with whether you're working for an organization, whether it's an individual. So with that, I may not really give you a clear answer per se, because every artist has their own way of pricing. I cannot say his work costs this much because of A, B, C, D. No. It's about his internal reasons that come through when he's producing the works. So that one, I may not give you a no or yes answer, yeah, because it's very subjective. Unlike other areas, let's say, for example, the manufacturers of this glass, they may quantify it because it's very objective. It's based on probably the cost of the glass, the production and whatnot, then they put a figure. But in art, no. An artwork can be free, or it may cost 10 bob, or as much as tens and tens millions of dollars, or to a level it becomes unaffordable.
Yeah.
like some of the legendary paintings we know, done by Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci. So it's too much of that at that, yeah? But then I was listening to him, I totally agree with him on some level, but then I think it all depends with how the client approaches you. Okay, there are some instances whereby you just realize outright, I cannot work for this. I've been to places whereby you can see the company has money and everything, but then they say, okay, do this painting, and then, when it hangs here in our boardroom, you're going to be marketable. We have so many visitors coming in and out here. That's a no already. Yeah. Okay. But then look at the example of Art Cafe. They were almost speaking the same language, only that they were subtle about it, whereby they talked about the coffee, the cups of coffee
on their cups.
Yeah. In fact,
cups,
yeah. So you see, at that level, they were speaking the same language of giving you the exposure, but then they're not ready to put in money.
Okay.
That's why there was an outcry from the creative industry. But then there is a particular instance whereby I realized the exposure is good enough for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I may just ask the same.
Yeah.
Just think about it. The artwork is going to be on the takeaway or whatever
Cups,
they use.
Yeah.
I'm trying to connect that artwork there with somebody seeing it and saying, I want to meet these artists and pay them for work.
Yeah.
Do you see how long that chain
It's
is?
a
It
long
doesn't
chain.
even make sense.
Yeah.
Because it has to be implicit.
Okay.
Like, this artwork is been done by so and so, and they are found here.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you think that's what people want to read on their coffee? They don't care. They don't read
You
like
throw it away.
even how to put it on top. It is not quantifiable.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's
Ngoja.
why, as far as I'm concerned,
Ule John Wathika amerudi. John, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you.
I'm very fine, sir. What is your question or comment?
Okay, my comment is, first and foremost, I'm Ojo Felix from Vita,
Yes.
and I do appreciate for leading this art and finance about youth.
Karibu sana.
Not John Felix, I'm Felix Ojo.
It's okay, continue. We'll correct that as we move on.
Okay, fine, thank you. So, I want to agree, I agree with our lady there,
Yes.
that money does not come first in our art and business. You need to work smart. We have to work smart before we follow that money. Money will just follow you later.
Yes.
And when someone wants to show you off outside the country or to market your product, just
Yes.
take that an opportunity to go for it. Someone might like it later
Yes.
and follow you. That I like your work and I need to work with you. He will follow you.
Yes.
So I believe in working smart, then money follows later.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I do thank you too. Just continue the good job that you are doing. God bless you all.
Asante sana. All right. Let's look at WhatsApp as well as we move on. Good morning. The term exposure does not sit well with me. It is not necessarily a bad thing, though. I can see it as a form of currency. I would, however, like the chance to negotiate terms of what the exposure looks like. Other benefits, apart from only the exposure itself, the ability to influence what I get in return would be really great. Thank you very much for that message. And that is where I was going in regards to that exposure. What if someone comes and tells you, in the case of Art Cafe, and they come and they tell you, look, we're looking for artwork. Send us some artwork. Then, because wewe ni ule msanii na unakuanga mnoma, ufanye artwork na utume na useme, aidhuru, hata wakinieka kwa vikombe zao ni sawa. But then again, if now they choose your artwork and you tell them, ngojeni kidogo wase, as much as I have qualified, how about you consider instead of that coffee, niko na shida ya rent. Is it possible, badala munipatie kahawa, munilipe rent yangu ya miezi 3 ama miezi 4? Or in exchange of that, I would like actually to now give you more of my artwork, and we display, now you ask for more exposure. Apart from you just having it on a cup of coffee, have it in all their shops. Is it possible to agree to such terms?
Yes. You see, the devil is always in the detail. If you are going to, because personally what I am totally against is PR language.
Okay.
That is there solely for the purpose of to bamboozle you. It is not giving you any clear-cut way that your art is going to feed you.
Yeah.
There's a reason why a lot of these PR exercises were popular in the first place, because there was actual impact on the ground. Say Safaricom would come or whoever would come and put up a clinic where there was no clinic.
Yes.
And for that, they would do a video and show everybody how they're helping various communities to plug in where there's shortages or whatever. It's because in an actual input. So when you go to the ground, you find there's a clinic built. Somebody got paid to build that.
Yeah.
Okay? Somebody, the doctor was going to sit there, they're not going to sit there for free so that people see them and say, oh, by the way, Dr. Mzuri, I'll recommend you. No. They're getting paid to heal people there.
Yes.
So all this, there's a reason that used to work.
Okay.
But what happened because it's about time to be a bit honest. No, let's just be honest.
Yes.
It's twitched that most of these companies, the PR establishments don't seem to understand what that kind of exercise is for. They think it's a chance for them to take advantage of service providers because it's under the guise of community work or just because even
CSR.
CSR is not even because CSR is an important marketing tool for any company and there's a budget for that.
Okay.
So what has happened is that we've twisted to the position where people are just taking advantage to because uko na jina, whoever. So a young naive artist like, oh wow, the guy from so-and-so talked to me and he wants my things.
Yeah.
And it's all that. And that mind game has ended up people feeling, some of the most bitter people you'll meet in this country are artists. Because umefanya kazi, you're seeing your work there, it's shining even internationally.
Yeah, but you're getting nothing
you
for it.
remembered the sales pitch. You are given about how you'll be great and your work will be known and you'll have 100,000 followers who love your work on social media. It doesn't translate because there is no money being put on the ground.
Okay. All right.
It's empty words.
Yeah.
That is the problem.
Okay, Mercy.
Yes.
Actually, at the same time, I disagree and agree at the same time. Because, I like
Mercy
looking
talk
at
up
things.
offense.
No, she has
No.
stumbled
I
just
like
like that.
looking at things
Okay.
critically, Because you see, you are looking at it at an angle as an established professional creative maker, or rather, cinematographer.
Yeah.
But then I'm also putting myself in that level of that artist who is trying to grow, who is trying to create a name. A name is just not created in one day, just the same, saying Rome was not built in one day.
Yes.
So what are some of the avenues that make you start growing as an artist? We should actually look at this topic in both angles.
Okay.
Because again, as artists or creatives, if we are very rigid, and this is in general in terms of the individuals per se.
Yes.
If we are very rigid with how we take life, then there's a problem.
Yeah.
Because if someone is giving you that opportunity, and chances are probably you are struggling, yes, you're a professional artist or a professional creative person, and you're struggling, why not take the opportunity? And you see, it's just a matter of sitting down, because one thing I know about such deals, it's not usually cast in stones, trust me. Sometimes it's about gambling. We say in art industry, sometimes it's like you're trying your luck. Yes. And there's no harm in that. So when we are so rigid in terms of saying, oh, I cannot take this because there's no money put on the table, then there's a problem. And Yes?
Sorry. Now, I was saying we have a text from Ongata Rongai that I'd like us to look at before we run out of time. Thank you for the conversation. Exposure is like advertising. It will only cost you and maybe bring nothing back in monetary terms. But eventually, if you use it wisely with time, it will pay handsomely. This is Kihumba in Ongata Rongai. Same thing you were saying. Yes. It's like marketing yourself.
Yes. Marketing is like gambling. And I'll give an example with the major organization, the UN. The UN usually offers internship to individuals. And trust me, they don't pay. The interns of UN are not salaried. You may get privileges here and there. You may use their referrals and whatnot. Right. But they don't pay the interns. How do you call that? In general, the whole world. When you apply to be an intern in the UN, there's no salary attached to it.
Okay.
There are privileges, but you ask yourself, why is it that when they have the opens, thousands and thousands of applicants flood the place? Reason being exposure.
Okay.
So, when you look at it at that angle, you may find a way in which within that level of exposure, you may find a way of producing your work and probably making a sell. That's how I'm looking at it.
Albert, probably last sentiments as we
Let me just agree with that. The thing is, I guess I've been hardened a bit by the knocks of a decade, but it is without saying, it goes without saying that if you're starting off, you'll have to do a lot of free work. And I'm using that word free very loosely because for example, when I was starting off, I could go to people's sets because I would ask, like, you are shooting a series, can I come and watch? I want to learn, but what work can I do in exchange for that? Okay? Because maybe you've done your YouTube videos, blah, 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 but then now you need practical. So that's when it comes to you go to such sets, so you're exchanging labor for knowledge, which is fair.
All right.
But as you grow and you start investing in your own equipment,
the
moment I put money in my own equipment, in my own space and whatnot, you have to meet me at least halfway there.
All right.
When you're starting off, sometimes it's not practical even because you're not even good enough at the time. But wacha watu wazoee kulipa watu.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys. Unfortunately, time kameisha tu hivyo. But if you'd like to meet or rather reach out to this gentleman and lady, let us know and we shall definitely put you in touch with them. Mercy has got amazing artwork. Check her out on Facebook, Mercy Obukwa Art. And of course, Albo Nyakundi on Instagram as well. Albo Nyakundi unaweza mpata ako kila mahali social media ka zote.
Instagram Albo wa Cinema, Twitter Kenya ni Kisii, na hapo Facebook nitafute kwa Albo's Podcast.
You can also reach out to K24. We'll definitely put you in touch. But it's been awesome. We take a short break as Shiko Kaitani is coming up next with the Daily Brief. As for me, I'll see you tomorrow bright and early on Interactive. Kwaheri.